So we're here with Clarissa Chun, Olympic medalist, world champion as an athlete, but now joining the national coaching staff with USA Wrestling as one of our assistant women's national coaches. Clarissa, just give us your basic thoughts about this great opportunity you have now to be part of USA Wrestling in the new role as one of our national coaches.
I'm excited, to be able to work with all the athletes that come through the training center, on the women's team, the cadet, juniors, and senior level, at the elite level, to be able to try to kind of share my knowledge and work with these athletes and just continue to learn and grow as a coach, learn from Coach Steiner and Emma and a bunch of coaches around the world internationally as well, too. So.
Yeah, and I mean, you've been around a lot of coaches, but you've been the athlete, right? You've been involved competing. When did you think that maybe coaching was something you'd like to do, something that might be part of your life after you stopped trying to win the takedowns,
You're right. So, I don't know, I think over the last quad, like going for 2016, it was kind of like, what would my future look like? Do I enjoy, would I enjoy coaching? And I've done a bunch of camps and clinics, and throughout the years, I've found like a passion for it, to be able to like connect with the athletes, connect with the girls, and being able to share my experiences. So it made sense to me that I would love to take on an opportunity to coach and challenge myself in that way, and it's kind of a way for me to still compete in a way without having to abuse my body.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and there's a lot of things that coaches do, but part of what they bring in is what they learned as an athlete. So what kind of things, I mean, you've been on 2 Olympic teams, you've made numerous world teams, you've traveled around the world, you've been part of this program since like 2000,
yeah.
I mean, when you were in college and all. So what kind of things did you learn as an athlete that you're going to help the young new athletes with?
The obvious is technical, right? But like there was so much more than that, like making those jumps and gains to like kind of close those gaps when it came to those tougher matches, and whether it's like nutrition or sports psychology, and just figuring it out, like each athlete is different, and is gonna like go and pursue and attack their game plan or their strategies and whatnot. I've learned different.
Oh, there's a lot.
There's a lot. There's a lot more than just on the mat stuff. It's like, what are we doing on our downtime? What are we doing for recovery? What are we doing? Are we watching video? Are we telling ourselves all these positive things? But being honest with ourselves, realizing our strengths and weaknesses, and I've learned a lot, and there's still a lot more to learn.
So, you weren't just a training center athlete. The whole training center deal. You spent many years, but you went to college yourself, wrestled on a women's team at Missouri Valley. But also, you went in and trained and were in men's college teams. You were involved with what was going on at the University of Missouri, and then over at West Virginia, you were actually part of the official staff at West Virginia. Talk about the experiences from the college setting that you think will help you and our athletes moving forward. Some of the things you learned there.
Yeah, I've learned a lot from Coach Henson. I've such a great opportunity for me to be able to train with him and under him, and I've learned a lot in the college programs, like how, not just like on the mat, more, and I saw a lot of background coaching, administrative stuff, and those are things, sometimes people think coaching is just, on the mat, helping an athlete, relationships with athletes, but there's a lot of behind the scenes that people don't really realize, like how to put things together to execute, like our plan and stuff. So I'm excited, I was really excited to be a part of those programs. Super grateful that I've had those opportunities to help me grow as an athlete, a coach, and, like a person.
So, and you're going to be working with someone you know very well. I mean, Coach Terry Steiner was the coach here since We started our women's program, and he joined us in 2003, and or end of 2002, actually, right? And you were wrestled under him as an athlete. But talk about Coach Steiner as the person that you're going to be able to work with, and the things you're looking forward to in that relationship.
I'm excited because, there's nothing really foreign to me. I've worked with Terry as his athlete, and it'll be fun to create those bonds as like working together as a coach to help these future, the future and the current athletes that are on the team now, and kind of like put our heads together to help get U.S. on the top of the podium. We have same goals in mind, and I'm really excited to be working with him and Emma. So
talk about some of the things that you think we should be working on, some of the things you can contribute towards. I mean, United States is good. We won a world title in 1999, and we had a bunch of second and third place finishes, but I'm pretty sure your goals are pretty high here. And what kind of things do the American or women wrestlers need to do to take the next step?
That's one big thing that I learned from Coach Henson was consistency, like making sure these athletes are very consistent in their training and their lifestyle, and just all around as themselves as a person. So I think consistency, and Coach Keith Wilson, he helped me close the gap, on my technique, and those are the details on that. The detail is on the technique and whatnot. So I think consistency and paying attention to the little things, that we may take for granted in the different areas that we work in.
So, and we all know Japan's been the powerhouse of women's wrestling. You lived in Japan for a while.
Yeah.
You were teaching English. You were around the wrestling community there. You wrestled against Japanese athletes your whole career.
Right.
I mean, you're Japanese American, right?
Yeah.
So, talk a little bit about some of the things that you've learned, because you're not just learning from the Americans, are you?
Right. No, I try to learn from anyone and everyone. I can learn from a 12-year-old boy that gets me in a dump every time I go to front headlock him, and I can learn from, a Japanese world champion. Most recent was the Bulgarian world champ and Olympic bronze medalist that came here for Schultz, and I just play wrestle with them, and I'll pick their brains, and and because they have different styles, from American style, and I'm not afraid to ask questions. I'm not afraid to go up to anyone that seems intimidating to, ask, how do you do this and whatnot. So I'm excited for the opportunity to grow as a coach, not just on the mat technically, but just overall.
And you've done some coaching since your last competition, your trials and all that. Spent some time on some tours and been here at the training center. Have you really found that, this fits? I'm ready to do this.
Yeah, right? I get excited because of, not only the relationships and bonds that you can create with the athletes, because, it's not going to come overnight. An athlete's not going to want to do whatever you want, just because you tell them to do. I realize, we have to gain trust from each other and whatnot. And it's been fun and challenging at the same time, working, doing junior and cadet camps where there's 50 to 65 girls. It's okay, I want to and need to learn each girl's name because they're not going to listen to me if I don't even know their name. It's been a fun challenge for me to even just get that down, on top of just wanting to pour everything I can, and into them. So
you want to match in the finals of the World Championships. You want to match in the medal match at the Olympic Games. Are things that you can do to help these athletes so that when they get that opportunity, they're able to cash it in? Are there things you feel like you can tell them and help them with?
I believe so, and half of it is mental. I've worked with a really great sports psychologist that worked well for me, and she's helped me so much. Dr. Roberta Krause has been amazing for me, and still to this day I'll go visit her, and consider a great friend slash life coach now, you know? So all the tools and like, I guess it's kind of like constant work that I've had with her, you know. I would love to be able to work with the athletes with that, you know, because it was a big part of my training as well. It's, you know, that brain is a huge muscle that sometimes, you know, we as athletes don't take the time to train, you know. So,
absolutely.
yeah.
So you say you have shared goals with our coaching staff, and you know, I mean, tell us a little about those goals. I mean,
Oh, they're big. You know, we want to hear the national anthem, you know, like after each weight classes, you know, like tired of hearing the other ones, you know. So, I mean, that, and, you know, this, and every athlete that comes through the training center, you know, they have those big goals and aspirations too. And we're on the same page with that, you know, and we want to help them get to the top of the podium, you know. And
well, hey, we want to congratulate you. We look forward to working with you. I personally have had 20 years of working. Well, is it 20 yet? It's close. Right?
Oh, yeah, it's close.
When did you start at Missouri? Missouri Valley, yeah.
Missouri Valley was 99.
99. So
yeah,
it's been you've been on quite a long journey with USA Wrestling, and we look forward to the next step for you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm excited.